Alright, welcome back. It's Wednesday? Wednesday morning, 9:45. I only woke up 15 minutes ago. Came straight out of bed, set up my camera and all that shit. I just figured I should go over what I do in the morning for the breakfast portion since I went over dinner. So I already said yesterday I've missed the noodles typically, and had the water heating up. It just stopped. Missed the noodles to make tuna soup, or I'll have like a tuna sandwich with lettuce, pickles, which I bought, which I have in the fridge, cream cheese on top with some bread. But that's not what we're having right now. Right now we have noodles and tuna. Especially with me not getting up early. Or I'd probably have sushi. The problem with the sushi one is I don't know exactly how much protein I have in there, because when I've checked it up, it said it's only max 15 grams of protein in the sushi, which I buy at Savon's, which is like right across the street. So I don't really know how much protein I'm having in there, and I kind of want to know exactly what I'm eating throughout the day. So yeah, that's why I'm not having sushi. But on like last block, I was having sushi almost every morning. So I'd buy the 3 for $15 sushi tray in the evenings, have one right after the workout, and I'd have the next ones in the morning, either 1 or 2. But that's kind of how I do it. And if I went there and they didn't have it in the mornings, then I'd be having a tuna sandwich with lettuce, which I have a lot of Romanian lettuce, but it's kind of ironic because I have all that lettuce, but I don't need to be in a cut, because this morning when I got on the scale, I was back down to like where my weight is. So remember when I say your body weight like bounces back up by 1% or 2% when you're at maintenance. So I think because I didn't hit my protein goals, and also the day before I had fried chicken, which kind of like kept me at that 240 mark. This morning I woke up at like the baseline 238. So I'm 238 this morning, and that's without me dissipating fatigue, because I went to bed at 2:30, woke up 9:30. That definitely threw off my sleep. My hands feel like they're burning. That's one of the ways I can tell that I'm not recovered. Like, hearing my knuckles burn. So I can tell, like, okay, I'm not on today. So I'm expecting squats to be okay. I know my floor, that I'm like, I know like what I can hit. At minimum, by day, I can do 230 for 8 reps and still have it move at a 7. That puts my squats into the 340, because I'm doing it with the manta ray. So you put that in a rep calculator, that'll tell you where that's at. But that puts the squat at 340, and that's pretty good, especially knowing that I'm fried beforehand. So I know I'll probably be able to do that. So yeah, that's like the goal. If I feel better, like the fatigue, like even right now I bend over, I can feel the back soreness still. Yeah, I didn't get rid of it. So if I had went to bed a little bit earlier and got up at this time, I'd be okay. If I went to bed like at least 12. But that's not what happened. After I was done eating all that food and showering and all that kind of stuff, all that jazz, that was the time. Okay, so being that I dropped weight, yesterday, and I had 2 scoops of this. I'm gonna up the ante by having 2 scoops again today. So we're gonna have 2 scoops of Gatorade powder, especially being that we're feeling under recovered. We're gonna up the carbs, some clean carbs. In the morning, I'm gonna have only 1 scoop of these. This is not a lot of like caffeine with this C4, some Costco shit that I got. I think it's 150 grams of caffeine. I thought it was cheap until I checked. It was pretty cheap, but it's kind of weak. And then my typical creatine that I've took. This is also, it says good manufacturer practice, but this is not NSF safe. But as I said, I've got drug tested every month taking this stuff, so kind of taking a risk. I think after I'm done going through this batch of stuff, I am going to make sure that whatever I buy is NSF safe. And then the only thing that I have is NSF approved is the Diesel by Perfect Sport. No, this is informed choice. Yeah, so not even that. Yeah, I think next time I buy a bunch of stuff, I have a lot of pre-workout still and creatine and protein powder. So I know these are good, these are okay. And honestly, with the amount that I have, except the pre-workout I definitely change to something else. But as far as like creatine and protein powder, that's probably gonna last me until June. So and I'm really glad that I've been using the same stuff. So I already know beforehand that it's okay for competition because I've gotten drug tested so many times with them. I mean, so yeah, I'm not really worried. Alright, so now we're gonna have 1 can of tuna still. I'm gonna have to think about what I'm gonna have throughout the day in terms of like what I'm gonna do protein wise to have more protein, and so I don't keep dropping weight, because I don't want to keep dropping weight, because if I keep dropping weight, I'm gonna come in a lot smaller than I need to. Like right now I'm like really good. Like right now I'm really good. Like I've cut from 242, I made 105 the last time I did 105, and I have that in the app. Now I'm coming in, I want to come in a little bit lower just because I want, not saying the cut was hard last time, the cut wasn't, but just in case, let's say the scale was a bit heavier, because I think nationals, the scales were a bit heavier because my scale is heavier, and I didn't eat anything that morning. I weighed in last, so I just drove from home, went straight to the meet, and the scale had me like damn near 2 keys heavier than I was supposed to be. So I think he had me at 113 something. Feel like I was only 110, 112 at max. So yeah, it had me a whole percentage heavier. I don't know, maybe stress. But like, yeah, I literally weighed myself at home before I went there, and yeah, so to put on a whole 2 keys, it's kind of drastic. 1 kilo, cool, I could see that, but 2 keys, kind of mad. Where's mine? So that wasn't good. So yeah, you get 1 can. So low fat, high protein breakfast. Alright. Tuna ramen. I have pepper. Where is it? That you could put in here. But to me, this shit's like pulling on chest here. Like, this hot sauce is really good to put in there. But for me right now, I haven't been having any of this. It's gonna upset my stomach. So if it was like something that I'm having in the afternoon, then sure. But because it's not something that I'm having in the afternoon, I don't put that in there. That alone is good enough. Just having the tuna and the ramen together is good enough. So, yeah. Put that away. Well. Oh, alright, what else we got? So, we got our pre-workout shake. And as you can see, I'm like taking it from my jug of water that I have measured already. So this whole thing is filled. I filled it up because I had 2 servings of Gatorade. So I don't need to make it heavily concentrated. I'm going to drink all of that. I like getting in the practice of like just chugging fluid because I mean, that's what I'm going to do on meat day. Once I do the gut cut, water cut or whatever, I'm going to be like chugging fluid. So probably going to have this shit filled with Gatorade powder and for electrolytes and drink 2 scoops of pre-workout, and that's going to be what I have on meat day. So we're kind of doing the same thing. This is just fluids in my stomach. When it comes down to the tuna and ramen, the only thing we're missing now is the green beans. So actually, I almost forgot that. So let's get that out. These two days videos are gonna be like pretty long because for me, if I want to be like even remotely consistent with posting, I can't do too much editing. I don't like editing that much. Yeah, I'm not going to give myself that stress. So if you find any part of this shit boring, just speed up throughout it. I ain't fucking cutting that shit. I ain't sitting down doing that shit, bro. Sorry. I just not gonna do it. But at the same time, I do want to share the process, so I'm gonna just do it how I can do it. Okay. I think I tossed the tuna can in the trash. I shouldn't do that. Gotta recycling. I just realized that afterwards. Okay, so I can kind of eyeball it. I mean, it's just beans. It ain't that deep. This is roughly a third of it. Maybe a little bit more. Whoa. Got a lot of things to wash up here right now. Not enough stuff for the dishwasher, but also I prefer to just hand wash the stuff. So either way, well. So this is going to be for tomorrow's ramen or ground beef. We already have the, what do you call it? We already have the tuna and baked beans for later that we made yesterday. So I'm going to have it since we already opened it. The can, so I'm going to have it. Don't want it to stay more than 1 day. And stick on diet. But yeah, that's it for the breakfast this morning. That's what we're gonna have. I can show you the shake, the protein shake that I make. as well. I just gotta. See, my grip's like weak, right? So you know you're cooked. I don't want to deal with this right now. It's all dismantled. There we go. My grip is weak, like that shit burns. One of the things too is, especially being that I didn't hit my like protein goals yesterday. Maybe I'm a little bit under recovered, but I think it was 180 grams that I had, and I'm pretty sure that's like at least 0.8 grams of protein per body weight, and that's sufficient for day to day. Like I think that's the daily recommended 0.80, and us fitness enthusiasts, I don't even fucking know what you say, but people that are into fitness put it to 1 gram per pound and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, you should have more protein because your body doesn't store it. That's just the main benefit. Like, if you could eat more of the thing, it makes you feel less hungry. Your body doesn't store it, and if you don't eat enough, your body actually just pulls from your organs and stuff in order to do recovery stuff. And I feel like, yeah, you can make sure you cover your bases by eating even more than the daily recommended. But I don't think it's that bad if you end up just eating the daily recommended, like me yesterday with 180. I'm not gonna die. But yeah, I want to put myself in the best spot. So I feel like, yeah, I didn't have enough. Yeah, my body didn't have enough to pull from to help me recover. But the big thing was sleep. Honestly, I could be eating 0.8 every day and recover fine. The big thing is sleep, man. Sleep is your kryptonite, if I'm gonna be real. So we're gonna have, I'm gonna put a scoop and a half, just in case. I mean, I was already low yesterday, so if we end up eating the chicken that we have planned, right? We have the chicken planned, and we have everything planned. We're gonna hit our protein goals, but it's okay today to be even over that because I was under that by 60 grams yesterday. So that's okay. So I'm making up by doing half a scoop extra in here, and I'm gonna do half a scoop of greens powder. You kind of have to realize you kind of have to build up a tolerance to this thing. You can't just go straight into a whole scoop. So half a scoop of greens powder. There we go. And I got this from, I think, Save-Ons. They had a good deal. And I got this. I know the soup is done, actually. So I'm gonna have that. So yeah, I'm thinking right now my body weight is more like 237, even though it says 238 point something. I think it's more like 237 because stress, meal timing, and yeah, that's it. Stress, meal timing, sleep. Those three variables were a bit high, and I even had like the Diet Coke last night. But yeah, I think if we got enough sleep, we ate a bit earlier, whatever, I'd be lighter. I kind of like the fact that 3 days ago I included the fact that I had like the 4-piece of chicken from KFC and popcorn chicken and all that, like just a big, I I didn't have like only 2 pieces of chicken. I actually had chicken from KFC the last 2 nights, and my body weight's still in check. So as long as you keeping on top of your variables, you can do stuff like that. No, I'm not going to do it. You're not going to keep doing it every day, even right now. Even though I see that the weight's down and I have wiggle room, I still think it's better for you to eat clean, especially if you're looking to get the best performance out your day, because you know what you eat, your body's using for fuel. And KFC ain't it, bro. KFC ain't it. If you're trying to look for performance, that's more so like convenience sake, not a scapegoat, you know. So don't cheat yourself, you know, because you see that, oh yeah, I can have more calories. I'm down fucking 2 pounds, in reality 3 pounds, back to the 3 pounds baseline. So I can have KFC if I skip this and I do that and I bend my wrist. No, why not have more rice, have more chicken, have more clean stuff, build up that clean calorie baseline. So if we have in 2,300, can we get up to 2,800, 3,000 clean for competition? Because that's what's going to help you perform, not fucking fried chicken or McDonald's or some shit like that. So my shit's done. I'm about to have this. Is this too small? I feel like this is too small. Let's see. Ooh, nope. It's on the money. It's on the money. Okay, so, anyways, I'm gonna see you guys at the gym. I should say I forgot to do my abs last night. Yeah, it was just not in the habit routine. So after I did my cardio, I just went to shower and shit, and I forgot. I literally forgot. It was this morning I woke up, I'm like, fuck, I didn't do abs, and I'm like, that sucks. But it is what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna eat this and then start getting ready for the gym. So see you guys there. Hopefully the fatigue that I'm feeling right now doesn't make the day any shittier than it can be. So yeah. All right, last warm up. Going to take my first set at 2:30 because that's like the floor for these out of 7. I think right now. Ideally, I'd want to be closer to 250s. That's why on that day when I did 250 for 2 days ago, and it fell off, I was like, I'm not going to push it, because that's something that I should be doing for like, I can do 10 reps with. So yeah, we're going to do 230 for a first set as a primer, and then based on how that 230 goes, I'll go up or keep it. But ideally, I just want clean sets. All right, so that set moved pretty good. I would say that set moved like a, that set was a 6 for sure. And that's pretty good. So we got 8 reps with a manta ray, in fact, for 6, 230 at a 6. So a thing that I used to use the RPE sheet to estimate where my 1RM is, or I'd use 1 rep max calculator, and I have a few steps to do that. But I find that the RPE calculator is pretty good to use a lot of times. So I can just simply like put in 230 keys in rpecalculator.com. I might put it in the description, I don't know. But rpe.com, put in 8 reps, put the RPE that I think it was, and then it'll tell me where my 1RM is. So that puts it at 337.5. So basically 340 on these, because I can't gauge anything less than 6 RPE on my chart, but also this doesn't go lower than 6 RPE. So let's say it was easier because it was really fast. It wasn't even questionable that it was a 6. It was really fast. But I think I'd call it a 6 because some of the reps were inconsistent with how it was coming up, and I think it was due to the fact that I woke up this morning a kilo lighter, right? So I think that's just it. I just came in a kilo lighter. My back's still tight, as I said, from Monday, and then we went good on deadlifts. Like, I mean, we did 265 for 7s. So, and that was yesterday. So my back's not going to be in the best position right now to like push. And also, just from overshooting last week, because I thought it was going to be I didn't overshoot. Like when I say I overshoot, bro, I mean like I go up max half an RPE, sometimes 1 RPE. But the only thing that I'd go 1 RPE to is bench. And even bench, I didn't do that. I think it was only the last day I went crazy and I did 500 for 4 banded. So I mean, that was definitely sending it. I think I was doing 45s to 4, so we went up 15 more pounds and like bodied it on the last rep. I was like, oh well. But I know for a fact it was the new RDL setup that really made my back feel really bad, because it just loads so much into my hips just on the start, which I'm not used to, because I'm a high bar squatter, as you can see. And in my conventional, I use my quads a lot off the floor. So just not getting used to loading up my hips that much. Felt pretty hard, but like with the fact that we went down like 20 keys from what we were doing 275, and I was doing 225. We went on 20. Is that 20 keys? 50 keys. Yeah, we went on 50 keys, and I'm still getting a good stimulus out of it. I think that's good. So we're still getting honest work in, and we're not doing that much load. So that'll keep the body fresh on a week-to-week basis. I just need to get better at it, right? Loading the hips, and that can't hurt, right? Getting better in loading my hips is gonna help with my deadlifts and my squats, right? So, yeah, that was that. But yeah, these were 6. The plan today is to do 3 sets of 8 at 7. But I just don't feel like going up because of the inconsistency. I'm gonna do 1 more set with this weight, and if I get it to go consistent this weight, then I'll go up. to what should actually be a 7. Because what could happen is, okay, I'm doing this for 8. This is how I do it. I'm doing this for 8. So my 7 should be 240. If I can get the consistency right, then, and I still get that 240 to move like a 6, then that would put the 1RM at 352.5. And if it even moves like a 6.5, that puts it at 345. So ideally, I want to up 10 keys so I can see if I can still have it move this well, right? It's just 5 kilos on this side, 5 more kilos on that side, and we're doing the same 8 reps. It's no biggie, right? That's a typical jump. We're gonna jump 10 keys and calm, like minimum, right? Unless we miss a lift and we only do 5, but we ain't staying at the same weight, right? So, and this is manta ray squat. So, I mean, like it giving me 337.5 already, manta ray, very high bar, and I'm not squatting the bar that high. I'm not gonna have that tipping forward effect like I'm having right now to fight against. Just makes me know, like, yeah, I'm where I'm at, where I was last meet, for sure. So I'm not really worried about squat. I'm actually pretty impressed by myself, by how well I was able to like keep my strength and build strength while being in a deficit up to this point. So, and that's just paying attention. That's not being perfect with your routine every day. And there's going to be a lot of days where you hear me talking about, I missed my protein here, missed this, blah, blah, blah. And you just got to compartmentalize things and know that it's not going to hurt the grand scheme of things if you're planning to keep going forward. It's just like, I mean, I don't expect to lose at this meet. That would be kind of crazy for me to expect that. I've never lost the meet, so I'm not expecting that. But I feel like some people think like something's gonna happen to me if I lose. Like some people like really wish that I would lose. I mean, and I'm like, bro, if I lose, I just show up at the next meet. Like I'm one of the youngest guys in the lineup. Like one loss ain't gonna change shit. Like as far as I see it, I'm the future of this weight class here and on the world stage in the future. So yeah, you got to show up to win, to even give yourself a chance to win. So that's that. The goal is to do that. There is no point in me showing up. Same thing with worlds. I'm showing up to win. That's why we call in the series, can we be a world champ? Right? And that's the question that I ask myself every day when I come in. So I felt like that was a good title for the series, Can I Be a World Champ? And I like seeing the flags and stuff because they motivate me when I see them inside here, you know, keep me honest. So yeah, we're gonna do 230. Yeah, if it doesn't move well, then all the sets are gonna be 230. I don't intend to overshoot anything in this block because this is the thing. If the 6 RPE weight it only can move like okay, I think this is lower than a 6 RPE, especially due to the inconsistency. But if I get the consistency with this 6 RPE weight, it will show me where the RPE actually is, and I'll be like, okay, well, if I can keep that consistency, then I should have no problem doing 240 at a 7. Now, if I go up right now and I don't correct the issue, and let's say it just moves 0.5 more at 240, well, the 8 reps at 240 is going to be 7.5, and that actually brings the 1RM lower than doing this clean with 230. You get what I mean? So it's like, when I see people going heavy in training, it doesn't mean shit to me because they could be just overshooting. While I'm staying in pocket, right? So, like, yeah, you're moving heavy weight. To me, if it doesn't look easy, if it's not heavy weight moving easy, then their 1RM is questionable because it's either lower than it could be, or they're gonna fire themselves before meet day, or you're not gonna have enough skill practice going into the meet with like proper technique and form with the consistency. So big thing that I keep saying is consistency, 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 right? I'd rather do this 6 weight. I'd rather do 10 kilos less and have it move consistent and learn, teach my body how it needs to move in order to get to my 1RM versus going heavy and have my body move like shit and actually can't get to my 1RM because I was working incorrect muscles that could lead to injury or overuse issues, etc., etc., etc. So anyways, I think that's been enough time. I'm gonna check my phone here. It's been 13 minutes, so I'm gonna go again. I was gonna start over the camera, but I'm gonna just leave it rolling. So now we're gonna go here. I didn't get to take off my damn knee sleeves. I do have a feeling that this weight is where we're gonna end up staying at today, just because of the weight loss overnight here. But anyways, let me lock in. Still a 6. So we're in the point fours in terms of speed, but it's just inconsistent. So that's the importance. So what I'm gonna have to do moving forward is I'm gonna have to start upping the calories here, which is great fucking news. We start upping the calories, maybe we can end up in the 250s on bench. Like, even if I start at like 225, I could still end up at 250. My spread on a good day, and this is on paper already, is 25 keys. I can start at 200 and end up at 225. And I think that's like typical for good benchers. They got a 25 key spread from where they start if they're having a good day. If I'm having an off day, then it'll be 20 keys. Like Knots. Said Knots was an off day because shit was projecting to be at 245. We ended up at 240. Started at 222. 220 basically. So that was 20 key spread
Definitely could have done 242.5 to be exactly 20 keys, but yeah, like the spreads, like I think 17, if the spread 17 is because I don't want to risk 2.5 kilos, you know? And that's what I did. And 2.5 kilos ain't nothing. It's 1 kilo here, 1 kilo here. Go make that up on your deadlifts type shit. You know what I mean? Why fly that high close to the sun? But being that your body was primed already for a 25 key spread, like that was the goal range, then yeah, you'd be a whole 7.5 kilos lower on that third. And that's kind of how you should set up attempt selections if you want to be successful. So either way, starting point's going to be around 225, which I believe is the national record right now in the 105s. If it's not, I don't really give a fuck. Whatever I do on the day will be a national record. Fuck. It would be nice to get the squat and deadlift, but in due time, possibly could get the squat right now, but I don't need it. I really don't. Yeah, I really don't need it. Like, there's no point of cooking myself before Dubai. My main competition has to do his meet in March as well. And he just did a crazy meet. And he's going to be flying very close to the sun. He's going to be cooking himself in the next the early parts of the year. And then you only have 2 more months between that to turn it around for Worlds. While I get the benefit of not having to go put up a world record total. Even though I believe I'm capable of it. Like, yeah, I believe I'm capable of it. The training is there and it shows. And that's why, all while being in a deficit. The only problem is my deadlift consistency, I would say, and I've been working on that. And by the time Worlds come around, it'll be a whole year of doing grip work. I think I'm going to start doing some heavy holds from the rack as well, but I'd say that's the only thing that I could fall short on. All right, so that first set moved good. These are supposed to be like 10s at 8, but I got like 5 set. And even though it moved well and it was at a 6 RPE wise, I'm gonna keep the weight and keep doing it and keep trying to get better at it. There's a reason I set the cap for myself to be at like 300 today, because I don't want to like take too much out for recovery. So I prefer to keep it and push the next two things that I have on bench this week. I think tomorrow I have like a regular banded bench. I like pushing those. That's going to really help me with the lockout strength on bench. And then I think I have feet up banded bench close grip on Friday. So today I'm kind of feeling flat, like even with squats, like we couldn't get that last set to move, like keep moving like a 6, ticked up to a 7. And then I just did that set. And even though it was a 6, it still felt like I was fighting to breathe. And because it's a lot of reps, right? So I got 5 sets of these. So I'm like, what I'm thinking is gonna happen is the first 3 sets might keep moving like a 6. Then the last 2 is gonna move like a 7. Then at 8, if I'm doing it and it's moving just so good, like below a 6, I don't think that's gonna happen until when I'm feeling flat. Then I'll up the weight to like 140 and get to 315. I think that's 315. I don't know what 140 is, but we at 300 and that's good enough for today. Tomorrow we can take the rest of the day to focus on recovery and getting back on track with everything and pushing tomorrow's bench workout. That's going to help even more, right? So yeah, that's the plan. So I'm gonna do 4 more sets of these, and then we got abs to do, which I'm gonna do after cardio. So yeah. So that's it right there. Moved hard. It moved like the plan, like 8. So, but based on how well 135 moved, it shouldn't have moved that bad. But I had that set move so well. That second set moved so well that I was like, oh yeah, let's just bump it up a little bit more. If 140 can stay, if I can do the same thing there and have 140 move at a 7, that's good, right? So I'm low-key undershooting like a lot of stuff this week by going like 1 RP down, but that's like intentional with certain things and just trying to account for like the fact that I'm holding on to so much fatigue already in the lower back area, and I still do need to do RDLs this week and do them well, so I don't want to bring it up too much, right? And this is at an incline, so your back's a little bit in play here versus if I was just doing a flat bench. That's why I'm looking forward to push the flat bench tomorrow, not this. But 135 moved really well on the second set, so I was like, beforehand the plan was to do at least 3 sets and have it move well, but the second set moved so well, I was like, okay, things are clicking how they should. Let's go up to a weight that I should be doing. Let's just do a conservative jump of 5, just in case it doesn't move how it should move. If I don't have that consistency, and that's exactly what happened. So that jump should have moved like a 7, but it moved like an 8. speed off the chest and stuff was really good. It's just more so like the 8 was like when you gauge in the RPE, like how much reps you have at that sticking point, right? So closer to lock up my triceps, my sticking point. So as the bar went closer to there, it got slower. So I'd probably only have 2 more reps there and not 3. So it should have moved like something that I had 3 more. The 135 beforehand was moving like I had 5 more in me, and it felt like it. But yeah, 5 more keys, especially when you're doing like this, like very shoulder focus accessory. 5 more keys is a lot for your shoulders, so that's why it doesn't feel that good. So I'm gonna lower it back to, should I lower it back? Maybe I'll do one more set. Hopefully I can correct the stuff. Since I already have the weight on the bar, I don't want to strip it down again. I'm gonna do one more set. At the end of the day, I should have been doing an 8, prescribed 8, so it's not like I'm not doing volume intensity that we haven't already like planned for in the program. I'm gonna do one more set. If it moved like an 8 though, I'm gonna drop it. I need it to move like a 7 in order for me to keep it. So, and if it moves like even a 7.5, so it was quick, but we still had that same sticking point again, I'm still gonna drop it to 135 for the last set, and then that's gonna be it. Okay, hope I don't get. Can I pause this shit? Okay, so that last set, very upset with how it moved. But not really. It was 9 reps for a 7. So the last rep, 10th rep, could move like an 8. But being that I took a break after the 7th rep, that's just to show like I'm just getting gas. I'm getting gas. So I don't know why, but I'm just feeling gas. It could have been after squat. Just felt gassed after that. So it's just trickling over into here. But I'm just feeling gas. So I dropped back down to 135. Should have probably just kept this weight throughout the day and just try my best to like keep every 135 moving like as good as the second set 135 did. And be done with that for today, because that was just such a good set. But you gotta explore and find out exactly where your weak points are in training, and that's gonna come with some trial and error. So that was that, and you kind of got to see like how I navigate that on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, even though the plan number is an 8, being that I took 2 breaks and I was feeling gas, that 8 could have easily moved like a 9. And yeah, that just goes to show like if your energy's off, consistency's off, all that shit, like that plays into account like what weight you should be doing, or just gonna be overshooting. So went back down to 135. I'm hoping that it moves like, I think the last set that I did was in the 40s, which is 40s is a 6 when I'm squatting. So getting 40s on this is not a 6. It's way lower than that. But if I'm in the 30s in terms of like speed, I'll be good with that. All of these have been around that, except the ones that were 7s. Those are in the 2s. I have specific numbers for those things for the RPE. But yeah, I don't want to truly do an 8 today. So staying in the pocket, that's the end plan. I'm getting home and trying to figure out what I'm going to eat for more calories, and I still got chicken and stuff to season. So I need to go to the supermarket, grab that chicken breast,
grab some seasoning for it, because I kind of like doing it jerk style in air fryer. I might show a video of that. Do that while I'm cycling, so I can have that later on in the day. And the first thing I'm gonna have is that tuna and beans. First thing right after this, and do my cardio. But yeah, today's one of these shorter sessions because I came in late to the gym. I think this one's only take me 3 hours because I think I came at 2. I know it's 5, so it's 3 hours. Kind of crazy how 3 hours go by. But you warm up, you reset, you try to lock in, you're taking breaks in between sets, all that stuff. Yeah, my rule of thumb in terms of break, Mike does it like okay, if you do an 8, you -5 from 8, and that means you take 3 minutes. I found that's like too short, and that's like kind of impractical, but that's kind of how he coaches it. I would be like, I more so do it like, if it's 8 RPE, rest 8 minutes. 7 RPE, rest 7 minutes. If it says 6, rest 6 minutes. Yeah. And I think giving yourself that 5 minutes in between to like go over the video, look at what went wrong and break down, and like right away, like fixing that is just gonna speed up that feedback loop. But like if you're just pressed on like getting the set done in 3 minutes, you won't have enough time to watch the video, reset, change weight, all that shit to like actually like, get any feedback until the next week. So your rate of learning is like way slower because you're trying to solve the problem weeks later versus like every day you come in, you're trying to figure out, okay, why is this moving like this? Why can't I move it better? And every day you're doing that. Once you do that every day, that's just gonna show over time, like your progress is going to be way more quicker than most people because your feedback loop that you give yourself to learn something is way shorter. So that's something that I do. So every set that I'm looking at the speed, I'm looking at the video, I'm looking back like, okay, what's going on? What's wrong here? Okay, it's an energy thing. Okay. Boom, boom. What can I do better? Is my technique off? Technique's good. My bracing right? Am I pushing through the sticking points? All these things I'm thinking about before I go do the set. And if something moves really bad and I can feel and see that it moves really bad, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call it right there. Don't wanna go into the ground or have something bad happen. So that's what I did on that set. Like, did a 9. I was kind of pissed. It didn't move like a 7, but it moved like such a 7 where I felt like, yeah, if I did one more and things weren't what I needed them to be, it could easily be a 9. No, we don't want that. So it's been 10 minutes. So I'm going to do this last set now. I hope I wasn't talking that much because these videos are going to be long, yo. Long ass videos. Very informative. Yeah, I'm going to do this last set. And ideally, I want to have it move like the second. So one thing I can think about that I was doing really good on the second was as soon as I got it off my chest, I was really focused on pushing through the sticking point. That is the hardest sticking point on bench, the mid-range point. So like as soon as it leaves your chest, that is where you make or break the lift. So if you're not pushing at 110%, right as soon as the bar leaves your chest, you don't have a chance of getting that bar. You have a chance, but you don't have a chance of building confidence in the next lift because you didn't think about a sticking point. Same thing with squats. As soon as you get out the hole, even if you use knee wraps or a suit, as soon as you get out the hole, like you gotta be at 110%. Like you gotta get gritty right there. Right there, you gotta get gritty. So like, I'm gonna focus on that. This set getting gritty right here. As soon as the bar gets to here, and I keep it. Throw the whole push, and then it should move smooth.
I gas myself. Okay, so we got 9. We got 9 there. That was a bad 9. It's not a good 9. I could have done one more rep, for sure. Like take 2 breaths, do 1 more rep. But that was such a bad set. I'm just gassed. So, I mean, this is a good thing. In the sense that the weight went down in a way that I didn't want it to go down today. It went down in a way that I didn't want it to go down today. And that just means we got more calories. And that's what I really want for bench to feel like magnificent. So, yeah. Clearly we're still in a deficit and the strength's like where it should be. So when you get into that maintenance real quick here and keep it for the next month and then put ourselves in a good spot come meet day. All right, but that's gonna be it for today. I don't think I'm gonna share any thoughts the rest of the day. Cardio, I already showed what I ate yesterday. We'll see, because I'm going to prepare the chicken, so I might show how to prepare the chicken, but if not, that's the end of the video. Catch you tomorrow for what I got planned. Legs, I think it's legs, banded bench, and chest supported rows. 2 chest supported rows and lateral raises. So tomorrow's gonna be a good day. Well, anyways, I'm out. Hope you enjoyed the video.
All right, so we're back home. We're cooking. I already had my tuna and beans, and now I'm having the protein shake, a scoop and a half with greens. I think tomorrow I'm gonna mix some Lasco in there, so for extra calories, because since I'm losing weight and we're not planning yet to take down the cardio, I'm gonna add some extra calories with this, 1 scoop of this. This is gonna just add more calcium, vitamin D in the diet. I think I have enough iron already, but it has carbs as well, and it's very low in fat, so it's just for taste. And I don't think in terms of like calories I need to chew and whatever, I need any more. I don't really think so. Maybe what I'll do next week, pending, I'll add back fruits, because I have no fruits in, which I usually like to have 2 cups of fruits, which usually used to be like apples or blueberries or strawberries, those kind. I normally like apple with yogurt. Maybe I'll do that. Hence the calcium thing. I don't have enough calcium in my diet usually because I am dairy intolerant. So, but I take a multivitamin and vitamin D and all that kind of stuff every night. Wonder if I have omega-3s right now. I don't think I got omega-3s right now, but honestly, not taking them doesn't do that much negative to you anyways. So what we have here, we got the chicken breast. It was a 186 grams. No, 1,860 grams of chicken breast, but I'ma just treat like all of these are 250, because a lot of times with these big packs, chicken breast, they pump it up with so much like jelly and all that stuff to make it way more. So yeah, so we have 7 chicken breasts in here. When you times that by 250, you end up getting 1750. So I'm just taking away 100 grams because I'm just estimating like that's just pump shit. And then for weighing, I'm not weighing any of the chicken breasts. What's gonna happen is some days I'm gonna have more than 250, some days I'm gonna have less than 250. Either way, it's fine. It is what it is. I'll have a bigger one on a day that I'm feeling more hungry. a smaller one when I'm not. So today I'm not feeling hungry or whatever. Feel like I have a lot of food. I'm drinking this. I'm gonna have my eggs soon, so I can get that going digestion wise, and then later tonight I guess rice and chicken's gonna be my last meal because I already having the protein shake. So I'm trying to just show you how I do the chicken. So took it out the pot, I took off the fat. There was more fat. It's not that much fat on chicken breast. You want to rinse the chicken with the water and some vinegar, not too much vinegar. Rinse off the vinegar. And now I got Cool Runnings meat seasoning. So if you're in Canada, you can either find this, you can always find this in the international aisle in Superstore or Freshco. You can get the all-purpose, but I already had meat seasoning. Usually I have all-purpose, but I got the meat seasoning. Beforehand, usually, got a lot of water in here. Usually I would put oil on it, but you don't have to. I'm not gonna put any oil because, like, usually I'd put oil, but like even a little bit of oil is still some calories there, and it's gonna soak in. So what I'm gonna do instead, when I'm about to air fry it, I'm gonna spray this on, and then that will keep it as accurate as it can be. Same reason why I don't really, when I'm prepping, I like having scrambled eggs, but when I'm prepping, I have boiled eggs and I change the breakfast up. Usually, if the breakfast was going to be like eggs, scrambled eggs, mixed veggies or whatever, yeah, you got some oil, you're not really accounting for that, it's different. But when you're in prep and I want to know every single calorie, that's why we're doing things like canned food, and we're weighing everything, and we're not using a lot of oils and fats and stuff. You're going to get a real good idea of what exactly you're eating on a calorie basis, because right now, because I'm very low calorie, I probably can bump up to 3,000. So today is going to be my first 3,000 day back, like that high. Usually you just want to bump up to like 250, but after the big drop off yesterday, I'm like, I'll just eat crazy today and see what happens. See if I bounce back to like regular weight, because I don't want to be too small, right? I don't want to be too small and weak. And I was feeling off in squat today, not having that extra kilos. It was feeling off. It still put the 1RM pretty good. Oh, next thing we got is jerk seasoning. I hope the camera is focusing on that. See that? We got jerk seasoning from Grace. This is what the jar looks like. Jerk seasoning. This is what it looks like. International house. You made this, you're not gonna have a problem just eating chicken breast all day, every day. Not gonna lie. And this is very simple. I don't go crazy with the chefing. Like, you're talking to a guy that just crack open some Bush's baked beans and tuna and be like, yeah, that's what we're gonna have every day. Very plain. The Bush's baked bean is really good though, because of all the nutrition reasons, but also like because it's like baked bean, it has a lot of sugar in there, so it's pretty sweet. It's like the best way to have tuna, to be honest. Unless you're gonna have like a nice tuna sandwich with mayonnaise and stuff, but no, that has fats, and I think there are more fun ways to have your fats. So even if when it comes down to preps, I just want more fun ways, like, fried chicken. We're not gonna have any more of that. I want my body to be in tip-top shape. You know what I mean? You want the sports car to be in tip-top shape, so you can't be putting bullshit inside the engine and expecting it to run properly. So everything is clean, and that's why it's not for calories' sake. We want good intake So if we got more calories, we eat it some other way. But if we don't, if we have a bad day, it's not that bad. We've been good throughout. So that's the last thing. So this is jerk marinade. Oh, I just have to hide my face. Okay. So first thing first, we got this guy. The face is here. Then we got this guy. Lastly, we got this guy. And I didn't use that much. Like, this is just a little bit here, a little bit here, and that's it. For a whole pack of chicken, you got it seasoned up and about to taste really good. If you do this with wings, or like, what do you call it? Wings or thighs or drumsticks, because of the fat, and you grill it, you're gonna get pretty close to Jamaican jerk chicken like that, just like that. Don't have to go crazy. Do people do more stuff for jerk seasoning and jerk chicken? 100%. 100%. This ain't it, but it's good enough. And I've made this a lot of times for a lot of my friends, and they've always loved it. So yeah, and it's pretty bodybuilder friendly, powerlifting friendly, in terms of like the calories. So yeah, once you open it, you gotta refrigerate it though, and then put this to the side. So I haven't done my cardio yet, so I'm about to do that right now. And like, probably gonna watch Russ's video today about self-doubt, not measuring up from, I guess, his Sheffield performance, just not being in the pocket this one around. I kind of could tell from way out. I felt like everybody was out of pocket, not gonna lie. I think Gustav was in pocket. Not Gustav. Emil was in the pocket for quite a bit. I thought Gustav was in the pocket and he was just super strong. And but then after I realized, he was like, nah, he was kind of flowing a little bit close to the sun in training, and that's why he looks so super strong to me, because we got the same coach, right, coaching us. So when I see him doing what he's doing, I'm like, oh well, like if that's what I think it is, then he's gonna do like this amount, right? And if what's his name does this, he still needs to do this. And so I thought, honestly, coming into me, I didn't want Russ to lose, but I thought he was gonna lose beforehand, to be honest. No, he's gonna get his comeback. He's ridiculous doing 375 at 93. Like, that's just nuts. But like, Emil surprised us, and then after seeing Emil overshoot with bench in the gym, I knew he wasn't gonna have a good bench day. He had no reason to take the 250 on so many times too. One time was good enough, get rid of fatigue and stuff, but you know, the thing is, a lot of people try to push their bench a lot, and they say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna recover in time and stuff like that. Yeah, the bench won't hurt your recovery like squat and deadlift will, because it's not a full body thing, but you're gonna hurt your bench. You're gonna hurt your bench on meet day. It's not gonna show up. If you push where it is, you gotta have discipline and self-control to know like this is enough and call it there. That's why like a lot of days, like I'm doing 225, 230s, and you know, I can do 240 plus, but I don't. Because that's discipline. It only matter on meet day. And I realized I learned that from my last prep, because my last meet in June, I was the strongest I've ever been, but it just didn't show up. Granted, there was other things in the meet I was very close to bombing out, but even on by the time deadlifts came around, I didn't have the same deadlift strength. I only went for 355 because the guys like kept pushing, like, nah, you gotta go 355. You said national record, yada yada yada. You had judges coming here judging you for national record standards the whole time, and you're not gonna attempt it. But I knew I didn't have the 355 the day. I felt run down the day. I don't know why. I felt run down. And I think it's because I was pushing too high to the sun like every fucking week. Going national record. which had some people pissed off, but like at the same time, like I was just doing it more so like, what do you call it? To market myself on social media. Right? I'm the national champ and I can do this over and over. Like, and I'm in the weight class. I'm not doing that right now. Right? And that's because, one, even like at 225, I think is the national record, or 0.5 or whatever the fuck. Let's say I do 226 and I keep posting national record. It wouldn't be a national record because I'm not 105. But by then, I was a low 120. So I could say that. So that was like a cool time to do that. But right now, can't be saying that shit. If I was under 105 right now, I'd be saying that shit. Fuck it. I'd be saying that shit. But I probably could only say it for bench. Because, you know, fuck deadlift records, really. Honestly, I think I was doing it for total. Maybe I could have said it for total, but who knows. Anyways, just staying in pocket. That was fun while it lasts. After this nationals, I ain't gonna be able to be saying national record for 105 because I feel like we're gonna push this shit up. You know, I have high hopes for everybody. I put them like way up here. I think I was talking to one of the competitors here and I was telling him, oh, I got you here. And he was kind of shocked that I had him at that total. I'm like, you better have that. Because like you're going up against guys that can do this. You better have at least that. You know, so I reset his expectation and the standard there. But one thing he said to me that motivated me is like, he said like, oh, if I don't go 3 for 3 on squat, he thinks he can beat me. And I'm like, I don't think it's that close. To be honest, I don't think it's that close. But the fact that you think it's that close makes me know that, you know, I really need to work on that deadlift. I really need to work on that deadlift. I can't have my man's thinking it's that close, you know, because he's looking at the fact that my deadlifts are big inconsistent. Fair enough, but I don't think it's that close. So yeah, so that was cool to see. I don't know how the year is gonna pan out. This, as I said, the series is gonna be, can I be a world champ? Because that's what the plan is. Why show up for worlds if you're not planning to win? Or you at least think you can win, and you should be confident enough to say that, you know. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on. Tomorrow we got bench and a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna go to the next gym. Still haven't done any baths and whatnot, but I could do it later tonight, but I'm probably not going to. What I'm going to do is finish up this cardio, watch this, and probably start editing these videos a little bit of it in the night and a little bit in the morning, so I can get through it. And then once I get the sleep schedule back on track and the time that I wake up back on track for the rest of the week, then yeah, I'll see to it that we're getting all the recovery things that I want to get done, like the saunas and the baths and all that shit. But right now we ain't doing that shit. Just trying to get through this week because I really thought it was going to be a deload. You can tell that I wasn't happy about that one, but honestly, I don't think it was a bad call because I don't feel that weak. It's just my lower back feels bad, and that's actually pretty cool to see because it still put my squat at 340 today based on those manta ray squats, and that's without the that's with the manta ray. So it's definitely in the 340s. So that's pretty cool to see. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you guys tomorrow with the daily uploads. This is how the chicken and rice turn out. So I have some chili sauce on there. I chopped it up and have the rice, and this is going to be the last meal for today. So, yeah.